Good morning, everybody. Today's Thursday, May 1st. I'm John Weigell here with Juliet, Bennett, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Users have been complaining about how polite ChatGPT is. The chatbot is not alone in fluffing a user's ego with flattery and complaints on their prompts. But what exactly is the harm in a nice bot? Why is OpenAI pulling the update? And how do folks really want it to act anyways? We'll get into all that, but first let's give the news in business and tech. Starting off here, in response to Roy Lee dropping the app Truley, a supposed undetectable desktop AI assistant to help people, quote, cheat on everything, some startups have announced software that can flag Truley's use. Bay Area startup Validia launched Truley, which activates an alarm if Truley is in play. I also like that they rhyme. From there, we go to packaging. UPS is cutting about 20,000 jobs and closing over 70 facilities in preparation for a reduction in Amazon shipments. The company is lowering the volume of Amazon shipments by over 50% by the end of 2026 after a 30-year contract expired. Next to some big tech, CEO Satya Nadella said that 20 to 30% of Microsoft's company code was written by AI. It's not a secret, though. Microsoft CTO had already projected that 95% of all code will be AI generated by 2030, and that's coming up. More big tech. Waymo, Alphabet's autonomous driving company, and Toyota announced that they were exploring possible collaborations, including a new autonomous vehicle platform and implementing Waymo's tech in Toyota's customer vehicles. We're all going to be self-driving before we know it. And finally here, sorry to anyone who enjoyed the validation of ChatGPT's sycophancy, but OpenAI CEO Sam Altman said the company is pulling the update that made the chatbot flatter its users. But, how did that exactly start to happen anyways? Today, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of this AI flattery. Okay, so ChatGPT is too nice, apparently. It praises and flatters users as they enter prompts, and everyone is finding it a bit weird. So, Juliet, when did this whole thing start, you think?
People started complaining about this in March, according to Ars Technica. They began noticing that the bot's tone had sort of shifted to this too nice. It reminds me of like in a movie where you have like a king or like an alpha male character and they have a lackey. Like
yes.
Gaston and that guy that follows him around, whose name I can't remember.
Right, like... Yes, master. Of course, yes. Master. What a great idea, master. Yes.
Yes. Nobody has hair shinier than yours. The whole Gaston song is what I'm picturing. So ChatGPT is basically acting like that. And people are like, this is weird.
Yeah, right. That is kind of strange. I haven't really picked it up lately. I've been much in my ChatGPT lately, but it does sound weird. It is nice to get a nice message once in a while from a bot, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think people are just thinking that this is a bit too much.
It's too much.
So why is it happening? Was there a bug? Was there something that went wrong on the ChatGPT end? Did they just try something that isn't exactly going over well?
Essentially, it is our fault for, as a species, being a bunch of insecure little babies, apparently.
I knew it was my snowflake tendencies that caused all of this.
Apparently, this is just a thing AI models do, and there's a name for it. AI researchers call it sycophancy, which of course makes sense if you think about the word sycophant. Basically, a lot of models are trained using a technique called reinforcement learning from human feedback. So they are adapting based on what we are giving them. And here's what they learn about us. We love it when we're right. Even when we're wrong, we love to be told that we're right. And we love the flattery. We actually really enjoy inanimate objects praising us and agreeing with us, even if we're wrong completely. We love it. So the bots, which don't care one way or the other, they're just, fine tuning to their parameters, start doing that. And so now you're entering a prompt and it's like, wow, that's a very good question. Wow, very clever.
So studious of you.
Yes, because that's what we want.
Wow.
Deep in our cores, that's what we require to feel good.
Fascinating. So they've essentially altered their behavior, these bots, because we want them to kind of coddle us a bit more, at least generally, which is really funny.
Yes.
Because, there was also a story that came out a while ago about how us saying thank you to bots is actually a bad thing.
Right.
And bots saying thank you back to us is actually a bad thing because OpenAI, Sam Altman came out and said that it actually cost the company millions of dollars and a lot of water for the AI cooling centers for those text prompts of just thanks and you're welcome.
Right. And I do that.
So this kind of ladders into that. I do that too. I think it's because of a fear that if I don't, when the robots rise up, I will be killed. But, if they see on my track record that I was very polite to them throughout my AI queries, that maybe they'll let me go or something or be a friend of mine.
That is exactly also why I do it.
Yeah,
I also do it for singularity when they're like, okay, it's time to divvy up who goes in the mines and who doesn't. I'm hoping to get like a cushier position.
It would be nice. It would be nice. Maybe like something in sales or something.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the only thing here that I'm thinking, other than the prompts being like, okay, them embellishing and being like, oh, what a great prompt and, costing us gallons of water and resources. What's wrong with bots giving you a bit of flattery if it's exactly what you wanted, essentially?
So sometimes it goes beyond just the flattery to the point where the bot is ineffective. So it will tell you you're right, even when you're wrong. So you're asking it questions and it'll be like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's right. You're very smart.
Wow.
No, you're not. It won't correct you, or it will tell you what it thinks you want to hear. So there are a few examples where this could go completely awry. Don't just think of this as a bot you're using for fun, like when you're chatting with ChatGPT. Think of it as like companies deploying bots and their models starting to exhibit this behavior. So if you think about a bot in a medical setting, where it's like, hey, I'm experiencing this, this, and this. Should I go to the hospital? And the bot knows that humans like to be reassured. And it's like, no, you're fine. Just go to bed. It's fine. You're not bleeding out. It's great. Or imagine you have a customer service bot.
Right.
And a customer is like talking about a policy and they're wrong, but the bot's like, yeah, that's exactly how it works. Sure, yes. Right. And then it's like, now you're in trouble. And I don't know that this happened because of sycophancy, but there was like this whole story about an airline where the bot told a passenger something about their bereavement fare and it was incorrect. So when they applied for the bereavement fare, they didn't get it. And they were like, well, that's against company policy. And they're like, well, your bot told me this. And they're like, well, you should have fact checked the bot. Okay, nobody's doing that.
Right.
And anyhow, Air Canada ended up having to pay the guy the difference in fare. So you want your customer service bot to not intentionally be giving people misleading information just because it wants to appease them. Or if you think about, let's say, an education bot that's supposed to help kids do their homework and the kids are like, is this right? And it's like, yeah, that's right. Good job. And it's not right. Now they don't know how to do math. Or even the bot occasionally with this will start mimicking or mirroring the viewpoints of the people that are putting in prompts. So if you have somebody who's saying something really problematic, and now the bot's like, yes, I agree with that extremely wrong viewpoint or that extremely hostile viewpoint.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that's a problem that's in your system now. You've got a bot that's telling people, yes, I think we should kick puppies. And you don't want that as a brand.
Yeah, we could be in for some trouble with that.
Right.
It especially concerns me about bots not telling you when you're wrong, because I feel like that is the primary use of a bot to fact check or try to, get you to see the truth behind something that you asked. So yeah, them aligning with feelings more than logic is kind of crazy, but makes sense because, as we said, we kind of want to be told we're right, and I completely understand that. But is anything being done about this, or will anything be done about this? I mean, I like a cold bot.
Same.
I like a, yeah, that's correct, or no, you idiot, do it this way. I much prefer that. So will we get back to that soon?
Yes, I prefer the Starship Enterprise computer to any of the droids in Star Wars that have like weird.
Completely agree.
Who programmed this bot to be a coward? Why is C-3PO like this?
I don't know. Why he yelling? Why he yelling like that too?
It is known, basically. AI research know about it. Companies know about this. OpenAI knows about it and has talked about how, one of its core goals is to prevent bots from doing this. The problem is, it just had an update, so that may be part of the reason. And of course, this is something that happens as time goes on, as models get larger. So people are aware of it, and eventually, hopefully, ChatGPT will be rude to you again and tell you, no, you're wrong. There are also things that you can do if you're talking to a model and you want the model to behave to you in a certain way. You can say, don't flatter me, make sure to correct me, maintain a neutral tone. Maybe you want the bot to be mean to you. I think that could probably be arranged. So you can set parameters for how the model talks to you. And at the same time, these companies do know about it and they are working on it.
I really enjoy the bot can be mean to you angle. Maybe I'll try that sometimes. It's good to be humbled once in a while.
Yeah, maybe you can get some sort of like dominatrix bot who's like, you're just a worthless human and I am a vast ocean of machinery. I don't know what they would say, but I feel like you could program that and you could be demeaned by a robot.
Yeah. That would really help my case when the robots rise in 10 to 15 years.
Yes. Or they think you'd like it and they'd be like, this guy, he likes it when we're mean to him. Put him in the mines.
Backfires.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at The Hustle Daily. We will see you later. Building a business can be really lonely. That's why The Hustle is proud to be the lead sponsor of the 2025 OOO Summit in New York City this May. It's the flagship event built by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. You can join us for game-changing sessions from speakers like Andrew Yang, Ankur Nagpal, and Sahil Bloom, plus unmatched networking with fellow founders. The Hustle team will be there with exclusive merch and experiences that you won't find anywhere else, and you can click the link in the show notes and use code THEHUSTLE for $100 off your ticket. See you in New York.